God, what a day yesterday was. Jesus Christ. It was incredible. We were on the BBC News. We were on this, that and the other.
Crazy.
All that aside, the news of Universal being announced was unbelievable. I'm here with myself, Marcus, and Digital Daniel.
Hello. Welcome back to the field.
Dan, how are you feeling after yesterday?
Mate, yesterday was one of, it has to be the greatest day in UK theme park history, right? So that alone was amazing, but it was an absolute joy seeing everyone's reactions online, even seeing like reporters and stuff being so ecstatic by it.
Yeah.
We met so many, like, even from like the BBC and stuff, so many news reporters who wanted to speak, who are theme park enjoyers themselves. They're going to Universal or whatever. So shout out to everyone we saw yesterday. You're all absolutely lovely. Even getting on the BBC News, like you said at the start, right here on the field.
Yeah.
Crazy. So thanks for all the support,
yes,
everyone. And subscribe if you haven't already, because we're going to be making so much more stuff, including this series, where we cover all the latest news in front of the field where it's going.
What was weird is that we've been coming here for the past 6 months and chatting about this place, but yesterday was the first day where there was actually just loads of activity.
Yep.
We've always been here just completely on our own. We never see any other life, you know, and
Nowhere. No life.
No life forms.
Everyone's dead.
But yesterday there was all sorts of broadcast vans, reporters walking around. Some of them looked a bit lost, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was just incredible to see.
Surreal.
It seemed like this was one of the biggest topics potentially in the country yesterday.
It was probably the biggest topic, I feel, like, just from the joyous perspective of the fact that it was just this huge news that for once was actually something good.
Yeah.
Like, there's been loads of politics and everything, but every single person we've spoken to, including a special guest that we're going to have on in the next episode, all the politics and stuff recently has been very downbeat and a bit this is happening.
Yeah,
but this is something joyous, so it's great to see. And
It's
we obviously
good.
got the concept art as well.
the concept art, yes, which is what this video is about, isn't it?
The deep dive of that concept art. We obviously, I don't know how much Marcus has looked into it since. I know you've been zooming in constantly, like
Zooming
I have.
and zooming and zooming. Enhance.
Zoom
enhance.
into my face.
Enhance. Zoom. Enhance. Zoom. I've seen various bits and bobs, and I know you know probably a lot more than I do.
I've been properly studying it. It's really bad, really sad as
You're
well.
unhealthy.
Yeah. But the amount of stuff that you can actually notice, we'll preface beforehand, it's concept art, might not be the final product, but we've seen Universal's Epic Universe, Beijing as well. The previous Universals all had the similar sort of style concept art release, and the park stayed pretty much identical to that. A few areas maybe changed in colour or changed the sort of look of it, but it pretty much stayed the same. So the themes and everything we can see on the outside will probably be what ends up here. And from what it looks like, it's exciting.
I've just noticed something, Daniel.
Yep.
You're wearing Disney merch, and I'm wearing Universal merch. We must fight.
There is a lot to look into, so
Let's
begin?
not delay. Let's
Yeah.
look. Let's zoom and enhance and zoom and enhance.
So thank you to the government, I guess, for sending over a very high quality image so we can zoom in and enhance all of the different aspects of this park, to the point that I've even seen what one of the buildings at the entrance could be. Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me?
I've been looking way too deep into this for specific reasons that you'll find out soon on this channel, if you haven't found out already. And I think you might have. And if not, I'm building it in Planet Coaster 2.
You nerd.
But we'll begin and we'll work anti-clockwise around the park, because I feel like the further around you go, the more exciting it gets. So as you can see, the entrance, you'll go through these sort of like, I don't know, roofed turnstile and security areas.
Yeah.
And
They
go
look
straight in.
They look fairly just clean, you know, not necessarily themed. They just serve the purpose of getting you through the ticket gate.
And then you have that amazing Universal globe, huge on this little like a sort of water feature and everything.
Look at the size of it compared to all the people.
I know, it's huge, and that's going to serve such a photo opportunity as well. It's going to be amazing. Loads of palm trees around, so as we go further into the main street, I think this could be Hollywood themed, this entire front section.
I mean, going off just the archways here, the front archways, that's iconic, that view from both the Orlando Studios theme park and Universal Hollywood. They all have that same entrance with the archways. They're all American. So it's like...
Perfect.
I'm assuming they're going to want people entering this theme park to get the same feeling as they enter the American park. So it's probably going to feel quite American in the way it's themed.
Like Hollywood.
Like Hollywood.
Hollywood. But something I noticed here is, this is very sad to notice. All these buildings, you'd expect some of them to be guest services, maybe some other stuff as well, like lockers if you want to stick that at the front of the park, because you're already in the park at this point. Something I noticed is in the bottom left of that area, you see there's this building here, the curved building.
Yeah.
There's some lettering on that building, right? Very, very low quality. Yeah?
Yeah,
Why does the thing on the left backwards say bar?
Yeah, so you can get tiddly before you even enter the park.
Yep.
That's amazing.
So yeah, there's potentially a bar at the front of the park. I don't know if that's
fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
Wonderful.
They really are making sure British people stay alcoholic. But once you go through those archways, you've got even more buildings, probably a main gift shop off to the left or right, a nice little fountain in the centre, and that main street. Talk about the view off of that main street, lad.
I love that they're going for a traditional main street entrance to the park. There's a reason it's such a popular way to design an entrance to a theme park. It just channels you in, makes you feel wonderful and fantastic and magical and intrigued.
Left-hand side hotel, right-hand side, that could be a theatre. Do you think that thing there?
Possibly.
There's a theatre. But then you go out to this lakefront view, and I think that's going to be an incredible view.
Just from a general sort of overview of the park, I love that they've gone for the islands type, around a lake type thing. The two most popular designs are to have a central point that spokes outwards like Disney do,
Or Epic Universe.
Or the other most popular idea or concept for designing a park is to slap a massive lake in the middle, like Epcot or Islands of Adventure. And the reason I love that design so much is you can be on one side of the lake and look over and get just incredible views of whatever land you're opposite.
The thing is, it doesn't ruin the immersion either, because if you're in the Jurassic World bit and you look out and you see this amazing main street of Hollywood in the background, you're just going to love it. You're not going to sit there and be like, God damn, I want to be Isle of Jurassic.
I think it will be a really nice atmosphere in that park for sure.
So, as you move around to the right, there's that sort of lakeside restaurant, I believe. That could be something like that. Just that little building there, you see.
Yeah. That looks like a restaurant.
You have a plaza with a sort of building here that's a similar theme to that restaurant with a show building behind it.
Zoom and enhance.
I don't know what this theme would be, because you can't tell, unlike the other areas, you can't really tell what that theme could be. But I think we could see maybe some sort of dark ride or show in there.
I don't know if it's just because it's on the side of the lake, but I'm sort of getting like a fishing village type vibe.
Yeah.
Compared to the other lands, that is a tiny little space off to the right of Main Street.
That becomes even larger when you walk down here. Probably some shops or maybe even another dark ride there, who knows. Followed by what looks to be an exact clone of the Minions land or Illumination land in Universal Studios Beijing. So we pretty much know for a fact we're going to get something very similar.
I've seen the roller coaster on the Beijing one. In Beijing, that is a piece of theming. It's supposed to look like a real roller coaster, but it's not. You go inside the building and then you find the coaster. So we're led to believe this is the exact same thing, but it does look slightly different.
It looks more different, like an actual layout rather than just some little hills.
Yeah.
And is a completely different colour and everything. So there is a chance that that could be a real coaster for the Minions.
And the support structure's different.
Yes.
So that has real coaster supports.
The other one doesn't.
The other one's like a themed flat thing.
Interesting.
It could be real, it could be fake.
I just hope Despicable Me Minion Mayhem is there, which looks to be, so very happy about that.
So do you reckon this is an Illumination land?
Yes.
So we could be looking at Secret Life of Pets as well, maybe?
Sing as well.
Sing,
Never watched it, but yeah, that. As you walk around to this area here, back here, probably the most mysterious area, you know? You see in the background 2 buildings.
Yes.
I think I know what that one is.
I've seen lots of things about this one here.
It looks a lot like the Poison Apple Pub.
I mean, it's not even up for debate. It just is.
It is, yeah.
Lots of people have tweeted about it. It is side by side comparable, the same building.
Which the Poison Apple pub, I actually wasn't too aware of what that was, but it's a pub.
He hasn't watched Shrek 2 because he's a loser.
Right, you didn't have to out me like that. That pub is where a lot of the nasty people hang out and drink alcohol. The fact that we're going to get some sort of dark tavern type thing, a little bit like the Burning Blade one that's at Epic Universe, I think that's going to be a hit with the British crowns. You're right.
Yeah, I'm fixated on the guy mowing his lawn over there.
But further down, you go into the trees. There's a very sort of like green and beige looking area. There have been talks that the Lord of the Rings is going to be at this park. Could that be the Lord of the Rings? Who knows?
Maybe.
I think there's a swamp area, Shrek's swamp, that will have an indoor area like Arthur at Europa Park maybe. Or just an indoor dark ride. You never know. I think it's something like that.
Yeah, I think it would be too strange to go from the Poison Apple from Shrek 2 to then walk down and then just have hobbit houses.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do believe that whatever's down that path will be Shrek related, which is fantastic. And I love the fact that it's all sort of overgrown and is all hidden around the back. I think that is so cool. And we'll make such a cool entrance into that area.
Yeah, it'd be really nice.
And there's a big building back there, so we're expecting maybe a ride as well, aren't we? So
I'd imagine so. But further up, you can tell me a bit about this because I'm actually not too knowledgeable on what Waterworld is, but there's a very much similar theatre and show going on similar to Waterworld.
Yeah, so it's clear we've got a big outdoor stunt arena there.
Surprised that's not indoors because of our weather, but there you go.
Well, all the seating will be undercover.
Yeah.
And the show itself is clearly based on water, which means the crowd are going to get wet. You do get wet watching Waterworld in Hollywood.
Okay, I didn't know that. There you go.
We briefly touched on it, I believe, in that episode that we released. The last episode, yeah. But what this show is going to be based on, we don't really know yet. If it's a complete clone of Waterworld from America, on one side it makes sense. They know the show works and they know how to do it really well. They've been doing it for years. On the other side, it's like, is that an old show now? You know, it's been around in that park for such a long time. Would they want to bring an old show here, especially in 6 years' time from now? Would they want to still be doing that show or do another form of stunt show, a modernised version?
So that's what I'm thinking.
And what we've been saying is James Bond, right?
Yeah, because again, press have been saying that there's going to be IPs and they've listed James Bond, Paddington, a few others, but we'll get onto that. So it does seem true that we could see James Bond, and I think that is, on this concept art, the only place that it could go.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. Something different from Waterworld, make it more British, more cool and fun.
What if the Jurassic Park area is, like you said, just huge, and the green coaster is included in the Jurassic Park area, and then even that theatre? Because if you look at the outside of that theatre, it's all sort of rusty looking.
It is, yeah, it is.
Things like that. Everything from the theatre all the way past the green coaster, past what appears to be a big research centre for Jurassic Park with a big, what appears to be dark rides area behind it, all the way over to the paddocks and what appears to be drop tower rides. All of that could be
just huge Jurassic World. That's very true.
It could be.
And that would be really cool because, as you said, it includes the green coaster that we've seen. We spoke about this last time, the weird drop and the dive loop. People have actually recreated it in certain simulators, and it is similar to what you said, just the drop and then goes round into a dive loop. Really cool.
Yeah.
It's going to go out to the lake as well. That looks really nice. I don't know whether it's a wing coaster or not. It could just be a generic sort of lift hill coaster. It could be something completely different.
Yeah.
Maybe if it is a wing coaster, Jurassic Park fits into that, you know?
Maybe.
But yeah, there's so many different things that could happen. If it is a B&M wing coaster, please don't be bouncy and bad.
Bouncy and bad.
I don't know what this building is because that is not a sort of station or anything for the ride, because that is all the way over in this direction. Would make me think more towards a shop or a dark ride, purely because this looks like a restaurant down there in this building.
Yeah.
That looks like a nice lakeside, very just pretty area, I guess.
The vibe I've got so far from looking at how Universal design their theme parks, even parks we've been to before in the past and whatnot, is they love putting the dining experiences on the lake because they all have a view.
Yep.
So it does make sense for almost every restaurant they've built in this park. But they haven't built anything yet, have they? But
They might have.
what the hell?
Oh my God, there's a roller coaster.
Jeez, it would make sense for almost every restaurant in this park to be overlooking the lake in some way.
100%. Then going forward, you've got this building here. That looks like it could be... I don't even know what that could be.
This building now is giving off architecture of a paddock.
Yeah.
In the Jurassic Park theme, but then how would that tie in over here if this wouldn't be Jurassic Park? So
It's interesting.
I'm more and more leaning to what you said, which is that the green coaster could potentially be Jurassic Park, which
I'd love.
we're just throwing about.
Yeah.
We have
It's concept art, so
we don't
who
know
knows?
what's going on. Yeah, it's cool to get excited and speculate about things. All we're doing is speculating. So if you think we're stupid,
We are,
we're
but
stupid.
not in that way.
We are stupid, but don't say that we're stupid, because
That was the stupidest thing you've said.
that was stupid. People might say in the future, "Ha, you were wrong." Well, we
had
not
fun.
What's wrong? What? We're not wrong. We're speculating, and you can't be wrong in speculation.
So then after, looks a bit like Celestial Park, but also combined with that Jurassic Park. You've got the research centre at the back, followed by the lovely rivers going down to that lake. That looks amazing.
Yeah.
Looks like one of the best views in the park, looking out on the lake.
We're definitely thinking that this here has to be
A research centre.
This feels Jurassic Park.
And then the building off to the left of that research centre building, that sort of entrance portion bit that you can see looks a lot like the one in Beijing, sort of like a very tall structure, a bit rectangular with a massive sign. So that could be the entrance to this huge dark ride which is behind it.
Possibly the best dark ride in the entire park.
Yep.
If
I
it's,
think
if
it
it's
will be.
anything like that one in Beijing, which I haven't seen much of, by the way, because I hate spoilers for rides that I've never done. So
I actually haven't seen much of it either, but I've seen a main part of it.
I know, yeah.
And we won't spoil it, but oh my God, if that's what we're getting, I'm so hyped.
Yeah. It'd be by far the best dark ride in the country.
One of the best in Europe then, if not the best. That's what
Yeah,
we're looking
yeah,
at.
100%.
And so could some of the other rides here. Forwarding from that, you've got a Camp Jurassic looking area, very like family friendly with some like bridges and slides and stuff, along with two massive shot and drop towers which look to be in raptor paddocks right at the bottom. These really nice looking hut type things.
Hat-shaped buildings.
Yeah, go on then.
It seems to be the same shaped buildings as Thunder Falls Terrace, which is a restaurant in Islands of Adventure in Florida.
So that could be just a normal dining area.
Yep.
That'd be nice. And then we get to the most exciting part, I think, anyway, because I'm a big fan of this franchise. You've got this amphitheatre on the lake. I'm not talking about that because that's interesting, but who really cares?
That's more interesting. I want to see Back to the Future, the musical, on that stage.
But like you just said, Back to the Future, that massive blue roller coaster you see with the neon lights on the train and the massive spike that looks 200 foot plus with loads of switch tracks. We talked about the layout last time.
Yeah.
The theming behind that, there's going to be a dark ride section on this coaster, we can already tell that.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a lot like that square that you see, the U-shaped buildings with all the sticky out building towards the entrance of the ride. That's Hill Valley from Back to the Future.
Potentially.
Nah.
Potentially.
It is.
You can't guarantee.
Do you want to know why it is?
You can 99.9% guarantee.
Do you want to know why it is? This is research, right? You see these buildings here. You see that little building that's like a little bit there, pointy up bit, right next to the town hall? Yeah? Watch this space. This is a photo of the Hill Valley town. Look, pointy up building next to the town hall.
Yes.
It's 100% Back to the Future. Excitement overload. 88 miles an hour that coaster better go, and if it don't, I'm going to run that fast.
I'm with you. I'm 99% with you. We're looking at concept art, guys. It might be different.
I'm getting carried away, leave me alone.
From the depiction of that concept art, I reckon we're very confidently looking at Hill Valley Back to the Future. But
so unbelievably epic. I want this to happen.
You're not allowed to say epic. We're in the wrong theme park.
Awesome.
The
next bit then, the sort of final bit before the hotel, is right here.
Yeah, this seems to be almost guaranteed to be Paddington themed. And I mean, all the reporters yesterday were saying a lot about Paddington, but the one key thing here that basically gives it away is what appears to be a massive jar of marmalade.
On a walkthrough style attraction there, something like that?
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? Marmalade, it ain't going to be James Bond, is
Yeah,
it? You've
I
got a
guess.
little balloon ride as well, a nice like little teacups type thing there. And then there's the dark ride building maybe at the back, like a little small dark ride or a restaurant again. I feel like there's a lot of restaurants, so I would imagine that's either a kid's dark ride or like a indoor thing.
And then we've made it round the park.
That's literally what we're getting so far. The green areas around the outside, there's so many different plots of land.
Don't go saying that that's not enough, because as you'll find out in the next episode, when we talk to someone very interesting, we find out how frequently they might be getting new investments.
Yep, you're the first ever guest on the field. That'll be coming out soon.
So you've heard what we think about the concept art and what is proposed for this field. But should we find out another opinion? Someone who is an avid Universal fan.
Is this technically the first guest? I guess they're not here in person, so no, but
The first guest, yeah, well, he's not made the effort to come here, has he?
no, there's
What
no
a
construction, there's no point.
Loser. Hello, Samuel. Wait, wave to the camera.
Crew of 50.
Hello, camera crew.
We want to interview you about your thoughts on the Universal project and what you think of the concept art.
Okay. Go on then.
What are your thoughts of the concept art?
At first, I thought it was quite bland, to be honest. But then when I look closer, it's really exciting. Shall I go through the different lands?
Oh, we've just done that, Sam.
You can give us a brief overview.
Obviously, you've got the Hollywood-style entrance that every other Universal park has. I think that'll be where James Bond potentially goes, because when you look at like Beijing,
It's interesting.
Florida, that's where you've got the Bourne Spectacular. That'll be where the James Bond thing goes, I'm sure.
That theatre we saw, that could be the Bond experience
Yes.
bit, could it?
Oh right, so
Maybe.
you're saying, Sam, that you reckon James Bond will be at the entrance area of the park?
Yeah, because every other Universal, all five, I think there's 4 or 5, they've all got some sort of show in the Hollywood area.
I mean, we were toying with the idea of it going in the stunt theatre at the back of the park, but now we're sort of maybe thinking that whole backside of the park could be Jurassic Park based, up until obviously the Poison Apple, which is obviously Shrek 2.
That would make more sense because it looks exactly like Waterworld, and I think it's Singapore where Waterworld is actually in Jurassic Park.
Right, okay. I didn't know that. See, this is
That's
why
interesting.
this is why we get a Universal expert on the field with us here, remotely connected because he didn't make the effort to come. So what next?
I believe that green coaster next to Waterworld looks like it'd be a flying coaster.
Oh,
That's just a very early prediction. That big dark ride looks like it'll be the Jurassic World adventure, especially looking at the show building. It's almost identical looking to the one in Beijing.
Sam, have you been to Universal Beijing?
I have indeed. I went like 2 months ago.
I know, I'm just saying for the viewers, so they know. What did you think of Universal Beijing, and what did you think of this Jurassic World dark ride?
Universal Studios Beijing is great. I really like the layout. And the reason I touch on that first is because the layout of Universal Beijing is probably the most similar to what we've seen in this concept art. But the Jurassic World ride is the standout attraction. It's so good. It's a top 5 dark ride for me. Like, it's up there with Star Wars, Harry Potter, like Rise of the Resistance. It's very good. Oh, 1 second, doorbell. I'll start again once it stops.
Sam's getting the door, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be right back.
At Universal Beijing, they have an indoor water ride for Kung Fu Panda. That could easily be a Shrek water ride
Yeah.
if it was indoors.
Sam, we're just running out of time here, so I'm afraid we're going to have to cut you off. Thank you so much for being on this interview.
What's your closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. Just get the permission.
Just get the permission. Get the permission.
Get the permission.
Thank
you,
you,
Sam.
permission.
Thank you very
Sam.
much.
Make sure you tune into the next episode for some incredibly exciting information.
And an incredibly exciting interview as well with someone who's not in the theme park scene per se, but just was really nice to talk to and gave a different approach to the entire Universal Studios Great Britain, which has been confirmed.
Yes.
Subscribe. See you next time for another episode of The Field.
Bye.